Hello there. This is MusicMan0150, also known as Gary. And yes, I am back again with another video for you. And today what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to update the Phantom XA system software. That's right. What you see before you is a typical Phantom XA keyboard. And this one was bought used on eBay. I'd say maybe about almost 2 years ago, and I've had it since, and it's been working very well. But I didn't realize that there is a newer version of the firmware or software to make the features work even better. So what we're going to do is we're going to update the version of the firmware that's in this keyboard. If you look here closely at the display, I already have it set up where you can see the current version. It says version 1.02. And that is probably the version that was updated when the previous owner had this particular keyboard. Or it could have been from the manufacturer. Actually, it could have been from the manufacturer because depending on when this particular keyboard was released, the version 1.02 was automatically installed in the keyboard's memory or ROM bank. And so this particular Phantom XA is probably a little bit newer than maybe some other ones, because the version that they show in the example on the computer, if you go to roland.usa, or it's actually rolandusa.com, or just simply roland.com, they show an example of how to do the update, and in an example they show where the screen shows version 1.01. So that was probably the first original version, but this is version 1.02, and as I just said, we're going to go ahead and update the firmware to 1.05, which will eliminate some bugs such as USB storage and some other issues that earlier versions had. So we're going to walk through on how to do it. Now the first thing is you want to make sure that you have either access to a computer or have one of these compact flash cards inserted into this type of adapter. This blue part here is the flash card. It's a compact flash card, and being that the holes on the back of the keyboard where the card goes in are a little bit bigger, in other words the slot, actually I shouldn't say the holes, it's the slot, it's a little bit bigger and a little bit deeper than the card itself. So you have to have one of these adapters in order for the card to work properly, where you can insert it and release it. In fact, I'm going to show you here as a comparison. I'm going to show you here on the Juno G keyboard. It's the same type of principle. Here's an adapter for that I use for the Juno G, and it's got another compact flash card in it as well. Now, this is a SanDisk flash card adapter, and it doesn't matter what kind of adapter you have. You can have SanDisk, or you can have this type of adapter. It's basically the same thing. This is a Dazzle. It's by Dazzle, the company actually, and that's really all it is the manufacturer. So it doesn't matter what type of compact flash adapter you have. It's just knowing that you need one in order to insert the compact flash card into the keyboard slot that accesses the card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one back in the Juno, and you can see here on the back the slot. This is the slot right here, and it's the same thing on the Phantom XA. You just simply insert the adapter like that until it clicks, and then this little button right here will release it. When you push that in, it releases the card. And when you push the card in, the button pops out. If you hear that click when you push the card in, that means it's in properly. If you don't hear the click, that means you got to keep pushing it in until you do hear that click. So now, getting back to the Phantom XA, we'll verify the version one more time, because this will be the last time you'll see that particular number, version 1.02. And what we're going to do now is we're going to power it off. The power switch on the Phantom XA is back here where my finger is. You can't really see the back of this keyboard because it's up against the wall. But the power button is right near the right side of the keyboard. In fact, it's to the right of where the power adapter plugs in. Here's the power adapter, and here's the power switch right here. Let me see if I can get the camera angled so you can kind of see it. Okay, it's right there. This little black square or rectangle. That's the power switch. So we're going to go ahead and power it off. Say goodbye to version 1.02 in 3, 2, 1. Gone. Okay. Well, it's not gone yet because we haven't inserted the card. Now what we're going to do is take this card and we're going to insert it. Just like so. And did you hear the click? See, and it's got the same kind of button that the Juno has. Same kind of button, see, to release it. Alright, so now we're going to power the unit back on. And let's see what it does. Okay, it says Roland. Phantom XA. Okay, and then it says alive. So that's the preset that comes up. It's a piano sound. Now I don't have the sound system turned on because we're not gonna demonstrate any sounds in this particular video. We're just going to do the update. In fact, what I'm going to do is turn off one of the lights so you can see the display a little bit easier. Okay, now I noticed on the camera the display is washed out, so I guess we're going to have to put the light back on so you can see the display better. There. Yeah, the display shows up better with the light on. Okay, now I believe they said in the instructions we have to go shift and then up, down, up, and down. Okay, let me look at the camera, off the camera, and it says no, it doesn't. It says piano, something piano. So, alright, let's try this one more time, and if not, I'm going to have to pause and see what we got here. So let's see, we got to go, let's see, we got to go shift, okay, up, down, down. Now it's not going to, oh wait, maybe we have to go to USB. Let's see, system, and then we have to go to, okay, there's general, keyboard control, MIDI. Okay, let's verify the system information. Let's see what happens here. Okay, version is right here. Okay, we're still on version 1.02. Alright, so let me pause the camera a minute, and I'm going to take a look at the computer and see what it says, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I read the instructions on the computer on how to do the update. Now, it says in the version mode, where you're reading the version on the display, that's where you have to hit the shift and the up, down cursor keys. So let's try that. So here's the shift, and then here's the up and down cursor keys. So I'll show the display as I hit the buttons. So we're going to go shift, up, down, up, down. Aha, there's the update. There's the update. Okay, now what we want to do, it says F1 updating via USB, and then it says F2 updating via card. Alright, so we're going to use the card since we're not on a USB hookup. So we want to go F2, and now it says please back up all data. So there's really no data stored in here. So, because I haven't really used this keyboard that much as of yet. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to press the right arrow. Okay, and it gives a confirmation, says, are you sure that you want to update? And yes, we do want to update, so we're going to hit the right arrow again. It also tells you not to turn off the power during the update, because if that happens, that's going to mess up the ROM chip. And if that's messed up, the keyboard's done for, because it won't be able to boot if an update is interrupted. So always make sure that your power won't be lost during this update. So now we're going to go right arrow again. Now it says, are you sure? This is where it says, are you sure? So yes, we do want to update. So we're going to hit the, I believe it says the right arrow, yes, enter, or no, exit. Alright, so we want to go enter. And the enter is right there. So that's the button I'm going to hit. In 3, 2, 1. And now it's erasing file. Oh, it says file error. Let me look on the camera and see what it says off the camera. Let's see. I know you can't see what I'm reading here. It says update mode, card. Okay, it says format check of. Okay. Update file. Error. Alright. Okay. So it looks like this card needs to be formatted first for the Phantom. Alright, so we're going to take a chance here. We're going to power it off because it says error, so nothing's happened. Okay, we're going to turn it off. We're going to pull out the card, just eject it. We're going to turn it back on. Let's make sure that nothing happened. Okay, it's still booting, which is a good sign. Phantom XA, it's coming up. Okay, so far so good. We're going to hit the menu button is right here. We're going to go to System, and we're going to go to Information, and then we're going to go to Version, F1, F2, F3. Okay, version 1.02. Alright, so we're still good with the old version. Alright, so I got to do a little bit more research on how to make the card work with the Phantom XA. Probably it has to be formatted, so I'm going to check that out and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I came up with the screen where you have to go to menu. Well, menu's over here, and then you have to here. Let me go back here. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go to menu. All right, then we're going to go to not system, but we're going to go to utility, and then we're going to go to enter. And then right here, there's 5 choices. You have backup, user restore, factory reset, librarian, and card format. All right, so we want to go to card format by hitting the right arrow, the right cursor arrow key, and then we're going to hit enter. I think, let's see, yeah. So now it says, yeah, I'm sorry, this camera doesn't have autofocus for close-ups. Oh, it says all the files on the card will be erased. All right, so that's what we want to do. We want to format the card so it will recognize this keyboard. So we're going to hit enter. Are you sure? Let's see, and I got to look on the screen directly. Formatting the card will take about a few minutes. Okay, so we want to hit this key here, the F6, where it says execute. So that's what we want to hit. Okay. Now formatting. So now the card is being formatted. It'll take a few minutes. And while that's formatting, I want to tell you that this same procedure is also for the Juno G. The Juno G keyboard and the Phantom XA keyboard, they're very, very similar to each other. In fact, those of you that have Juno G keyboards, there is a new version out that allows you to use the Juno G very similar to the Phantom XA in terms of what we call sampling. In fact, I just powered up the Juno G now because I do want to show you that as to what version will allow you to do sampling with the Juno G, just like the Phantom XA. So this way, if you do have a Juno G and you want to use it the same way that others may have a Phantom XA as far as sampling goes, you'll now be able to do that because Roland developed a new version of the firmware where you can actually do sampling with the Juno G. The procedure may be a little bit different. You'll have to check your owner's manual, or you'll have to just play around with the Juno G sample feature to see how it works, because it's slightly different from the Phantom XA. See, if you look at the Juno G keyboard in general, I'll just kind of do a little pan here, you'll notice that there's no sample buttons on it. Now what you do have on the Juno G comparison to the Phantom XA is you have these 5 slider controls, and this is called the sound recorder. This is your main level here, the input level. Well, actually, yeah, that's the audio in level. And then these are your track levels. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this has to be up if you're going to record sound with it. And then depending on what track you want to record on, then you would select from these 4 here. That's just a little overview on how you can record sound with the Juno G. Okay, so now that is now loaded. And now let's see, because the setup on here is a little different from the Phantom XA, as you can see. So now we got to look for the menu button on this one, and I believe it is now, and I've used this one a lot more than the Phantom XA, but now, because I was just using the Phantom XA, now I'm getting mixed up here. Let's see. There's got to be a way to do this. Going to the system setup. Let's see. And I do apologize, those of you that are watching, I do apologize with the camera. This is not a very good camera for doing close-ups. It's good for general things, but not good for close-ups, and I do apologize for that. Looking for the menu. Let's see. Okay, hold on a minute while I check this out. Okay, I knew I'd find it right after I turned off the camera. Menu's right here. So we want to go Menu, and then we want to go System, and then we want to go Information, and then we want to go Version. Okay, see? Version 2.01. That's the version for the Juno. So the Junos have a higher version than the Phantoms do, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Junos came after the Phantoms did, the Phantom XA and the Phantom X series. So now, if you look closely, just as an overall view, okay, it shows, let me look for naked eye, version SRX memory. Okay, that's the memory. And notice I got all kinds of memory in the sample. The user is full, and the card is very, very little full. So I got plenty of room for the card, and then the sample is totally empty. But the user is full because I have songs loaded in there. And that's the SRX. And it shows which SRX card I have in there. It's dynamic drums. So if we go back, just real quick here, then we'll get back to the Phantom XA. We'll go back to the regular setup there. And let's see. I'm reading off the camera right now. MIDI, part view, keyboard, controller, keyboard, part list. All right. That's okay. That's live setting. Now I'm in song mode. Now I'm on routing, MX, reverb, master, switch. Oh, I bet I know what you have to do to get the sample rate. You have to hold the shift. Yeah, see, if I'm holding the shift, it says sampling. That's how you do it. That's how you do it on the Juno G. You do sampling there. Okay, so now let's go back to the Phantom XA. And let's see if we have the card formatted. The card is formatted. Alright, so now I'm going to reload the file onto the card that needs to work the update. So I'll be right back after I recopy the file from the computer to the card. Okay, I'm back, and hopefully now we can get this thing updated. So I did check the card. It is formatted. I reloaded the file that we need to use to update. So we are going to go back into the version screen by hitting Menu, and then we're going to go to I believe it's System, I think. No, let's see. Yeah, System. That's, yeah, System. And then Information, version 1.02, and then we're going to do Shift, Up, down, up, down. There we go. Okay. Now we want to do F2 for the card update. Okay, we got the same screen again. Back up the data. Do not turn the power off. Are you sure you want to update? Yes. So we're going to hit the Enter key. It still says error. Okay, this is interesting. Huh. I wonder if it has to be done by USB. Well, Alright. Well, if that's the case here, then, Okay. Let's see. How can we do this? You know what? I'm going to do some more research on this. I thought this was going to be an easy task, but I'm going to do some more research on this, and hopefully we can figure this out on how to update the Phantom XA using just the card. Okay, I'm back. And probably now about 45 minutes to an hour later, I think I finally figured out how to do the firmware upgrade for the USB. It has to be through the USB. It can't be through the card. So, in following the same procedures, we're going to try this again. So, I've already got the cable connected. The Phantom XA is set to USB storage. And as I said, the cable is connected. So now the next step that we're going to do is we're going to go to the system. We're going to go to menu and then system. And then we're going to go to system info. And then we're going to go to version. And then we're going to go, this is where I was getting mixed up, but I think it's going to work now. We go shift, up, down, up, down. Okay, now we want to go USB, not card, but F1, USB. Okay, now we're going to go to the right arrow again. Right arrow, right arrow. Oh, no, not right arrow. We got to go enter. Aha! There it goes. Okay. Now, looking off camera so I could read it to you, it says USB status. Now connecting. So it did connect. And what we're going to do now is go back to the computer, and we're going to see if we have a folder called Phantom User. Let's see. Let's go to this PC. That'll give me a list of all the drives. And let's see here. USB data, no. I'm going to look off camera just for a second so I can kind of see what's going on here. 6, 3, I'm looking off camera. Let's see. USB drive, removable disk. Nope, that's not it. USB drive. Nope. Okay. That's DVD. That's USB connection. Let's see. USB connection. Nope. Okay, let me pause again. Be right back. Okay. Okay. It appears that letter L on the computer is the connection. Now, let's see. What do we have here? It says on the Phantom. It says connecting. All right. So, okay, maybe I gotta disconnect it now from the computer. Let's see here. We don't want to mess things up. Let's try this. I'm going to click where it says safely remove hardware. I think. I don't know what's going on here. Unless it's not going to work with Windows 10. Maybe it's not going to work with Windows 10. Oh boy. Wonder if I should have hooked it to an XP machine. Ah, boy. This is what you run into. So, if you're not quite sure, still browsing here. Let me take a look here and see what we got going. Yeah, it says yeah, H, there's L. Yeah, it says a device which does not exist was specified. L is not accessible. Okay, let me go back to let's go back to the yeah, let's go back to the file. You know what? Hold on a second, so this doesn't get boring. Okay, I'm back, and as I speak, the Phantom XA is now updated, and I can prove it to you by going to the following. Hit Menu, and then we're going to go to System and Info, and then Version, and it's on Version, and you can see it says version 1.05. What I had to do, and I ended up doing it off camera because I wasn't sure. I have to put the light on so you could see it better. What I had to end up doing is I did it off camera because the USB connection would not connect successfully with my Windows 10 computer. So I had to use my Windows XP computer to connect the file, or to connect the keyboard to the computer itself. And then I had to copy the file that was required from Windows 10 to my Windows 7 computer, then over to the Phantom user drive on the Windows XP computer. And I would have shown the process had I known it would have been that easy, but with all the technical issues that we were running into, I thought I'll just go ahead and do it off camera and then describe it to you. So, those of you that have a Phantom XA, if you're going to upgrade from version 1.01 to 1.05 and it requires a USB connection, if you have nothing but a Windows 10 computer, it may not work. So you may have to get yourself a Windows XP machine somehow, because I didn't even try it with Windows 7 because I was afraid Windows 7 wouldn't work. So I went ahead just with the XP because it says on the README file that XP will work with that update. So that's what I would suggest. if you need to upgrade from the old version to the new version. If you don't, then I would just leave it alone. As long as it's working fine, I would just leave it alone, because the process is a little bit more complicated than I anticipated. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video despite the fact that we ran into some technical issues. But it does give you an idea that you can update the Phantom XA firmware. And tell your friends and your musician friends to subscribe. And they will learn a lot from these videos. So thanks for watching, and have a great day. Do leave comments, and we will be back with more. Thank you.